Hey everybody, good afternoon. I'm Neil, aka The Mundus, and like I promised a couple weeks ago, I was going to be bringing you this toy video review on what I picked up on a toy hunt, and that was the new Playmates Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the Retro Collection re-release. So sit right back, grab your favorite beverage, snack, whatever you got to do, and let's dig right into us. And before we start, remember to like and subscribe and hit that notification button in the top right hand corner. We'll see you on the other side. Alright guys, like I said, here I got it. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the Playmates Retro Collection. Starting here to the right, we have Donatello, then we have Raphael, the infamous Leonardo, and the crazy pizza-eating Michelangelo. And these toys here are, as I said, the Retro Collection re-release of what came out when I was at that transition in my youth to my teenage years. And I remember that I specified in the video before, when I did my toy hunt, what made this so hard for me to stay with this collection, transitioning from boyhood to teenage. The child in me still wanted to collect toys, but yet the teenage boy in me was like, you know what, toys are for little kids, you know, I don't want to do this, I don't want to collect toys. And it was just a big overall challenging time, because I really did still love toys in my early teenage years. I got preoccupied with other things, from sports to obviously girls and things like that. So I kind of put collecting on the back burner. I did buy these original 4, but then I ultimately, somewhere over the years, I lost them. They got misplaced. I sold them. I really don't know. I might have even given them away. But when I saw these come back out, I was like, you know what, for an affordable price, I think the price point on these were $12.99, and in today's standards, that's a decent price for action figures. So I've heard some good reviews, I've heard some bad reviews, but you know, I thought it's a no-brainer. If the cards look good enough, the characters look good enough, I'll do a review on them. So I've been contemplating, do I keep these in package? And I'm still kind of torn on it, but I think to get an accurate and honest toy review, I need to really open them up and see what we're dealing with, and if it's really worth the money for $12.99. I think it is for the price point, but is the toy quality, the plastic and all that, is that really there? Or are these just basically reproductions, which we know they are, of what they used to be, but the quality is not there? So hopefully that's not the case, but let's dig into this a little bit. Here we go. We got Leonardo, or correction, yes, Donatello, sorry. And I mean, as you can tell, the artwork is pretty good. This is what I remember as a kid. The same exact artwork, that yellow background to pop out the figurine, and the graphics over here, the turtles. Obviously we see the new choking and warning hazards, and we have the identification of who the manufacturer is down here with Playmates. And then when we flip the card around, it's got the classic, you know, 4 back here on the turtles. Gives a little background story on Donatello here, and then it just kind of shows you some illustration and, you know, where the turtles came from and how they became the turtles from Master Splinter, and how he rescued them, and how they mutated and got into that ooze and ultimately turned into the Ninja Turtles that we all know of. The card, like I said, pretty much looks the same as the vintage card, but it's not 100%. Obviously, we can see some new added logos here for like YouTube and Facebook following this turtle line, and obviously we got a website here now. Obviously that wouldn't have been there back in the late 80s, early 90s, but overall the cards are pretty much what the original cards look like. Same thing for Michelangelo here. The artwork is pretty much identical. Nothing pretty much changed on the back other than each character. So each character card here that you can clip out and cut, which is kind of fun. That was a big thing when I was a kid with G.I. Joes and some of the other model toys that came out during that time, where you cut the card backs out and you collected them, and you would just read them when you had time, or you might trade them with friends if a friend needed one. So pretty cool altogether, but all the cards are pretty much the same, and that's it. So without further ado, let's dig into these and let's see what these guys look like. Alright guys, so what I wanted to do is I wanted to show you how I was going to open these up, and there's all kinds of different ways to open up these figurines. The best way that I found to open these up, where you're saving the blister pack and trying to save the card itself, the card back, is cutting a small incision line around the base here with a very sharp knife, and then basically folding this card back ultimately, and then pulling that character out. I'm going to try and do that here, and hopefully I'll be able to do it. I don't recommend using a normal pocket knife, but this one's pretty sharp. I would recommend like an X-Acto knife or something that's very flexible to where you can apply that pressure and then slice along the bottom to save the card. Like I said, ultimately, I don't want to damage this card back in this blister pack, but if I do, it's not the end of the world, because I don't know if I've decided if I'm going to display these or not based on the quality of them, if they're in good shape or not, if they're worth displaying. But I'll let you know at the end of this video. But I'm going to do my best to cut into these, and we'll see how this goes. And I'm sure you all want to see it, so I'm going to do the first one, and then the other three I'll do those off camera, and then I'll bring them back. So, but I'll do at least this first one on camera for everybody. So I'm going to go halfway up the blister pack here, and I'm going to slightly poke in, and I'm going to keep that blade, just the tip, down at the base without cutting the card, without cutting too much of the blister. I want to keep about 1/4 inch of the tip of the blade in there. Now I'm going to come back up on this side, and I'm going to do the same thing, about halfway up, barely pop it in, and I'm going to just slightly run that blister, that tip of that blade, sorry, along the base of it without cutting too much, and hopefully, boom, there we go. So I've got that open. I should be able now to slightly pull up on the outer blister. Let's see, do I have enough room? No, unfortunately I'm gonna have to come up a little bit more. Give me more of the flange here. Let's see if that does it. That should do it there. Yeah, there we go. Alright, so I've got Michelangelo out of the pack. Ultimately, I've saved onto the blister. I didn't damage that at all, so that's good. Then we have the turtle here, Michelangelo. I'll pull him out of the blister here. That's odd. He wasn't even tied in there, so that's kind of cheesy. I wonder why they did that. It basically didn't even look like they gave a care of tying them up in there. But I'll leave that in there. Now the overall feel right out the back, this actually feels pretty good. Kind of feels like how I remember the character when I was a kid. Now these, they wound up pretty good. Trying to save this so they don't come out. Now I haven't decided if I'm going to pull off the weapons off the plastic pieces that hold it all together. They appear to be the same kind of like the same plastic. It's kind of like a shiny plastic. It's slick. Like I said, I haven't decided if I'm going to pop these off and give it the full effect. But the turtle himself, you can tell he's different. I remember him being more slick feeling. These have more of a dry kind of feel to them. So whatever the type of plastic they used on these, they are a hard head. They're not a squish head, so it's kind of like the first ones, first series. But overall, he's kind of got some decent weight. He's got a ball joint here in the legs. Let's see how he stands. Let's get his belt lined up here and let's see how he stands up. I don't know if he's going to stand up on his own. I might have to kind of lean him forward here or off to the side. Put him in like a running pose, maybe? No, I'm having a hard time here. No, he's not standing up. So to me, it's kind of cheesy. I wish they would have made that foot flat so he can at least stand. But I don't think you're going to be able to pose. Oh, look at that. The belt just came loose. That's not a good sign. I don't remember the belts being that loose before. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. But I don't know if I'm going to be able to get this guy to stand on his own. Just doesn't look like it. So, not really impressed with that. And also one thing that I noticed on here, if you look, there's paint on his knee. Just, little carelessness there. I didn't see that when I picked him up, but now that I got him out of the package, I can see that. And overall, he's not a bad looking figure. He's not very posable, and that belt is really loose, and that kind of, I don't like that. I don't like that he can pose. He basically just falls over, so not very cool at all. But anyways, you got some articulation in the hand. They turn right to left. There we go. Look at the belt fell off again. I'm just going to throw it over there. It's kind of irritating me at this point. He's got the ball joint. He's hollow, which is to be expected. Overall, I mean, he's cool looking, but, after, looking at him, I don't know. So let me get the rest of these out of the box, and I'll kind of do a finalization and let you all know where I stand with them. All right, guys, so I've got them all out of the package here. Michelangelo, Leonardo, Donatello, and Raphael. And I'm going to say, you are going to need some kind of action figure stand to pose these. The only one that's halfway decent is Raphael. He's pretty much got flat feet, as you can tell. Obviously, I got him balanced up here against the plastic inserts, but all the other ones, if you can tell, they've got that angled foot, and it just makes it hard for them to pose. I didn't bust out the weapons and accessorize them. I know some of you are probably going to comment like, well, why didn't you show us what they look like? Do they hold their weapons and all that? Looking at the tightness on their hands, like the circumference and all that, they look like they're not going to have a challenge holding them. They look pretty much standard in how the original ones were. I didn't want to break them out because, one, I don't want to lose them or take the chance of losing any, because I'm probably going to repackage these up, order some stands to be able to pose them. Now, with that being said, do I think it's worth the money? For someone getting into Turtles or wanting to revisit their childhood, when they were a kid, whatnot, it's not a bad start, because obviously we know complete Turtles today can go upwards of several dollars. several hundred depending on the rarity and things like that. So this is a good starting point. Someone like myself that just wants to introduce them back into the collection as more background pieces and not have to spend a lot of money. It's not a bad investment. It's pretty good bang for your buck. There are some cosmetic features where they got a little careless, like on some paint and things like there. I just think that's just with mass production and whatnot. But if you can allow that to sit to the side, these are not bad toys to be able to look at and enjoy and bring back those good memories. Overall, would I buy them again? Probably not. Would I invest the money and buy originals? Based on my level of collecting, I'm not a big turtle guy. I probably wouldn't buy them. But for the price, I thought, hey, it's not a bad toy to throw into the mix of my toy collection and just have a little bit of that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle nostalgia. So for me, it was pretty good, and I'm happy with them. But I'll probably display these at a later date, and I'm okay with it. So guys, if you find them out there, it's not a bad little deal to pick them up on at that price, $12.99 price point, so you can't go wrong. Anyways, with that being said, thanks for tuning in. Appreciate all the love and support that I get, and remember to like and subscribe to all my videos. And if you like more videos like this, please hit that notification button so you get that notification when I drop my newest video. And as always, I'll see you in Yesterland.